Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Bobby Borg and this is music marketing for the DIY musician, creating and executing a plan of attack on a low budget. And our goal obviously is, at this point you should know it, to help you turn your art into a more successful business, okay? So the next phase in the research process is analyzing your customers. Now this is also something that musicians have a difficult time doing because they like to think that their music is for everyone, and that very well might be. But when you're marketing, it's far, far more important to break up your potential audience. Let's just say this is your audience, everyone. Now what you want to do is you want to break those up into like-minded groups of individuals. So you might have this segment, you might have this segment, and then you might have this segment, your largest segment. Ultimately, for DIY artists, we want to go after that larger segment, which is what I call your most likely customer. And why do we want to do that? Because we don't have the time and day and money like big companies do to take what's called a multi-segmentation approach. And that is when we're marketing to this market and that market and this market. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. Absolute vodka. Not that I'm advocating drinking, but let's just look at Absolute vodka. There's a sign on Hollywood Boulevard that's in Spanish. Okay? Now, what does that tell you? They're not marketing to me because I don't speak Spanish, but what they're doing is marketing to a very select target audience because somebody probably did some research and figured out that there's a big Hispanic community in this area. So they want to create a billboard that speaks loud and clear to them. And then there might be another ad for me somewhere else. So this is called target marketing, and it's very, very important to understand. Okay? So how do we break up our target audience? The first thing to do is you want to conduct research by observing the world and just making some very, very basic assumptions. So let's just say, for example, you are an alternative rock band. Who is most likely to be your most likely fan? Well, probably what? Alternative rockers, right? People that listen to alternative rock music. It's as simple as that. Now what you want to ask yourself is the psychographics of the fans. In other words, what are their opinions and interests? So for example, you take an alternative rock fan, what do they most likely do? They skateboard, they get tattoos, they are into X Games, they're into playing video games, and so on and so forth. Now, all of these things are going to provide some really, really important clues for us, and I'm going to get to that in 2 seconds, okay? Then you also want to look at their geographic region. Where are they most likely to consume your music or to listen to your music? And that has also a lot to do with where you are going to be stationed as well. So for example, if you're a band in Southern California, your most likely audience or your largest audience is going to be the geographic region of Southern California. However, on the internet, it could be far greater as well. Okay? Then you have to think about things called technographics. And technographics is really a new segmentation dimension that deals with the amount of time that they're on the internet and why they're on the internet and which internet sites that they're on. And again, all of these things can provide clues about how you're going to reach and you're going to market to your audience. And then there's also what's called behavioral characteristics as well. You want to ask, what is it that motivates your fans to come to your shows or to buy your records? What is it that they actually want or expecting to get, okay? Now, when you have all this information, now it's important to start putting together the pieces of the puzzle, okay? And you'll do that sort of in your conclusion paragraph in your customer analysis. And I'll show you what I mean. Let's just say, for example, you said that the general age range of your fans was 18 to 28. So what do 18 and 28-year-olds usually do? Well, somewhere in there, they're usually in college, right? So could you get played on college radio stations? Yes. Could you play at colleges? Yes. So you see how these things start to connect. Now, you also said that some of their lifestyles were, let's just say, for example, skateboarding. Could you also play skateboarding parks? Yes. Could you play surf competitions? Yes. And so on and so forth. Could you actually make skateboard decks as part of your merchandise that you sell? Yes. Could you play tattoo festivals? Yes. Do you see how you connect the dots? You're just using information about your fans to help you to better communicate with them. And the more clear that you communicate with them, the more you're actually going to reach them, and they will become part of your tribe, and you will have a far more loyal fan base. So this is called analyzing your customers. It's a very, very important stage in the research process. What we're going to do now is we're going to actually look at your competitors, okay? So my name is Bobby Borg, and remember, I am here to help you turn your art into a more successful business. So let's get to the next chapter.